Hey everyone, here's Bitcoin on FXCM finally. Most people use TradingView and it's not my favorite. Finally it's on FXCM. However, it doesn't give us much data, so this is as far back as it goes, basically end of 2017. Anyway, as we can see, we are in a bit of a compression and something is brewing and it's going to be huge. We will see very soon $1,000 days, as in a 24-hour period we'll see over $1,000 move, and I think it's going to be to the downside before we see upside. Now ultimately I do see Bitcoin climbing to $29,000 over the next 12 months, but before then we're going to see a bit of a smackdown. Now as you can see from here, like, we are seeing a strong support at the 6,000 level, and now that's pretty much where global mining costs are. It doesn't mean it won't go below it, but if it does go below it, it won't remain there for very long. It's very similar to how when OPEC, or mainly Saudi, drove oil prices well below mining costs just so they get more market share. So if we do suddenly break down below the 6,000, it's the big miners that are, it's the big Bitcoin miners that are actually going to benefit. Yes, they'll be bleeding money for a little bit, but it's just going to wipe out the smaller miners, so they'll get bigger market share, Bitcoin, in terms of Bitcoin. Now, technically, whenever you see a pattern like this and you have a flat base and it's basically a falling wedge within a falling market, something like this, this is normally what happens. You see a breakout at the apex, something like this. But the thing is, let's get rid of some of these lines. Bitcoin has shown us to not do that. What we've seen is that Bitcoin, especially in this manipulated bear market, is that it only sticks to TA, technical analysis, every now and again. And every single time we have, people are seeing some sort of compression. It's caught myself out. Originally, I thought this was the compression. I thought we'd get the breakout. We had a breakout prematurely, but as we now know, it was a bit of a fake out. Again, if you were to draw a line from here to that high, again, it doesn't matter. It has failed that typical breakout. Now what we are seeing is, if we just get rid of that, is another bit of a compression. And as I said in previous videos before, I'm expecting a 25 to 50% smackdown from the prices we are now. So call it 50% down from 6,000. That takes us to $4,000. So yeah, something like this. I, however, am going to be getting in, if we do have a bit of a sell-off, I'm going to be getting in around the 5,250, 5,000 level, because the move to the upside, once it gets to the lows, it tends to be a V reversal, and it will then be aggressive. But what we're seeing now is another compression. Well, in fact, Bitcoin does these compressions after compressions. Again, this one, I thought, again, most people, including myself, thought this was the compression. It's just sort of stumbled like a drunkard sideways out of this. And again, if we were to zoom in a bit, we are seeing something slightly different. We're seeing a bit of compression this way. But what we do know is, regardless of whether you think this is going to work or not, one thing that always happens, it doesn't matter what market, is that when the bars get smaller, the move is bigger when it finally breaks out. And so when it does break out, I think there's a good 65% chance that it's going to be down to the downside. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at the moment. Again, it won't show us. Let's oopsie daisy, get rid of that. If we're having Ether, I know a lot of us are looking at Ether at the moment. Nothing will happen until Bitcoin moves, and as you can see with Ether, we've been playing these pullbacks within the falling market. So pretty much every time the market is pulled back like this, whether if you look back at my calls, it's been because I've been looking out for these, and as you can see, we're seeing the recent one. It has pulled up. This move down hasn't been aggressive as previous ones, what this shows us is that there's more buoyancy. We're getting closer to buoyancy where there's not much downside left. However, saying that, if Bitcoin does go down to 5,000 or 4,000, we will most likely see $100 Ether. But yeah, I'm still in my true USD trade. This is just a little pullback. I'm still expecting my 170, where I'll be getting my original Ether back at this level, and then the remaining profit I'll then scale in over time. But yeah, that's about it. Again, remember, whenever you see crazy moves or that you see on Twitter or whatever, just take it with a pinch of salt. Go to the daily chart, then have a look at it and go, is it really a big move? So for example, everyone was rubbing their legs when they saw this move down here from sort of 203 to 191. It was a tiny move. Look at it. Look at the daily chart. It's insignificant compared to like a day like this where it went from $462 to basically doubled in a day. So yeah. Anyway, hope that helps. See you soon. Toodles. Bye bye.